Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate it very much. We have some exciting things we're going to talk about today. What's the difference between Web 2 and Web 3? Now, I just recently learned about Web 3 and how it applies to us, and we're going to talk about exactly what that is. So it's going to be a complete guide on what Web 3 is as compared to Web 2. So let's get into the information. So we have moved from viewing static web pages in the 90s to creating social media, and we are currently experiencing another paradigm shift known as Web 3. Oh man, it's exciting. As the world keeps evolving, we need to get up to speed with the trends and benefits of these innovations. We can't be left behind. In this particular video, we will see the difference between these different versions of the internet and also highlight the difference between Web 2 and Web 3. So what is Web 1.0? Well, between the year 1991 and 2004, this was the first generation of the internet, and that's when it existed. This version of the internet is known as Web 1.0, and it was a read-only. And many of us who are old school probably remember that. Web 1.0 was mainly used as a stream of information, allowing for the broadcast of information on static pages. With Web 1.0, users could search for information and just read it, which is why it is referred to as the read-only web. Unlike what we see today, Web 1.0 web pages are joined together using hyperlinks with no additional visuals, interactivity, text forms, and control. Web 1.0 had very few content creators and a lot of content consumers. These readers had no option of interacting with the sites, and there was a lot of personal sites. Now we're going to go into some of the features of Web 1.0, and I know that a lot of people are like, oh my God, 1.0, we know what Web 1.0 is. But it's good to go over it as we compare when we get into to see the difference between this one, Web 2.0, and also Web 3.0. So some of the features. Now, Web 1.0 is a term that was created to refer to the stage of internet before the term 2.0, which was coined by Darcy DeDuncey. During the Web 1.0 era, websites had the following features: static pages. Web 1.0 has no interactive features on the web pages because most of the pages were built with static HTML pages just to display information. What about website storage? To currently store a website's content, we use databases. During the Web 1.0 era, websites' content was not stored in a separate database, but stored directly on the website files. Now, what about website layout and combination of content? Designing website pages during the Web 1.0 era, most styling was done on an HTML page. It was an acceptable web practice at the time, but present web practices require separating HTML pages from styling pages. In other words, most modern websites use an external style sheets to style the web pages. Now we go to website layout and combination of content. Now, designing web pages during the Web 1.0 era, most styling was done on an HTML page. It was an acceptable practice, a web practice at that time, but present web practices require separating HTML pages from styling pages. In other words, most modern websites use external style sheets to style the web page. Now, web browsers and support for proprietary HTML tags. Web 1.0 browsers offered support for proprietary tags, which resulted in incompatibility problems for some websites. Web 1.0 browsers did this to stand out from each other. So site visitors had to use a particular browser just to visit some websites. So Web 1.0 had pages that they called guestbook pages. And these guestbook pages, users left comments and they were added to the page rather than the content page. Now we get into what we are using today. What is Web 2.0? The present version of the internet as we know it. This represents a paradigm shift in how the internet is used. The term became famous due to the Web 2.0 summit held in 2004 by Tim O'Reilly and Dale Dougherty. This Web 2.0 is the internet that we know of today that provides interactivity, user-generated content, and social connectivity for users. So Web 2 is the enhanced version of Web 1.0, as it replaced the dull web pages of 1.0. Web 2 is more dynamic, and it has transformed how we deliver information by introducing blogs, wikis, and social media platforms. So mobile internet access, social network, and mobile devices are just some innovations that led to the exponential growth of Web 2.0. Web 2.0 developments led to the discovery of applications such as Facebook and Twitter, just to name a couple, that expanded social interactivity and other utilities. Web 2.0 made the whole world a small village. Web 2.0 made it possible for us to see the world differently. It enabled many people to earn income in different ways on a part-time or full-time basis. It made it possible and easier for anyone to sell services online, rent homes, and work from the comfort of their own home. So what are the features of Web 2.0? Web 2 is the second generation of web-based services, and it also fosters online interaction and connectivity among users. Web 2 gave rise to the evolution of digital applications. And you probably know all of these. Some of these features of Web 2 are Google Chrome, Microsoft Explorer, Firefox, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, WhatsApp, and the list goes on and on. So, classification of information. Web 2 makes it possible for users to get easier access to information through easier sorting of information. Users can retrieve and classify information. So we're talking about better user experience now. Now this is compared to Web 1.0. Of course it's better, we see it, right? But Web 2 provides a better user experience to users, as Web 2 uses AJAX, which is asynchronous JavaScript plus XML, and HTML5 to make dynamic and interactive web pages. The technologies employed in Web 2 replace that traditional mods like SWF, Flash Media, that was used in Web 1.0. So the difference is by far amazing. What about user interaction? The ability of users to interact with the website is one of the significant features of Web 2.0. Web 2 makes it possible for users to contribute content by the addition of review and comment features to the web pages. Users can also participate in content sourcing by putting up their content on the website. Web 2 provides a platform for users' interactions, which is an improvement to Web 1, which provides static pages. It was horrible. I remember it. I was there. I remember when that first started. A good example of content sharing platforms are like YouTube and Vimeo. So now we get into what is Web 3.0. This is exciting. Let's take a look at what is Web 3. Web 3 is a version of the internet after Web 2. It's an upgrade to its precursors, Web 1.0, Web 1.2, and it is the evolution of the internet that caused a paradigm shift the same way Web 2 did. So Web 3 is a word coined by Ethereum co-founder Gavin Wood. Web 3 uses blockchain technology, cryptocurrencies, and NFTs to make web users experience more in control of the data that they use and the activities that they have on the internet. Web 3 is blockchain-based internet that will improve the way we use the internet currently. Web 3 is also known as the semantic web. Well, and it will be an enhanced version of Web 2 with artificial intelligence, machine learning, and it will make computers interpret information like humans. Exciting. One of the things that's a major difference between Web 2 and Web 3, and I love this, is how Web 3 will improve on the flaws of Web 2 by allowing web users to monetize their activity and contributions to a platform. So presently, social media users do not get paid to use their social media platforms. But a social media platform built on Web 3 will make it possible for users to earn while using the platform. Another flaw associated with Web 2 is data privacy. As big tech companies are in total control of the user's data gotten from signups and surveys, etc., things like that. Data ownership is another difference between Web 2.0 and Web 3.0. Web 3 will put users in charge of their data by ending incessant signups and innovations like domain naming services, where identities will be tied to a Web 3 wallet address. Major difference. So what are some features of Web 3.0? Well, Web 3 enhances the internet as we know it today. And to understand Web 3, we need to know some features of Web 3.0. So we talked a little bit about the semantic web. According to Burns and Lee, the semantic web allows computers to analyze data from the web in a different form by allowing the computer to decode meanings and emotions. This will allow the internet users to enjoy a better user experience through enhanced data connectivity. Now remember, the semantic web is just another name for Web 3.0. So now we're going to talk about decentralization. Decentralization is one of the fundamental features of 3.0. Ownership and governance will be distributed among its users rather than giving control to a small group of people as with the Web 2 platforms. Decentralization will be possible because information on Web 3 will be stored in multiple locations. So internet giants will not have access to these databases. Users will retain their own data ownership by selling their data generated by powerful computing resources, technology companies, and applications through decentralized data networks. Another really cool feature of Web 3 is universality. Since Web 3 is an enhanced version of Web 2, and Web 2 is already popular worldwide, Web 3 will take the internet a step further by making the internet accessibility to everyone. We will see different Web 2 platforms switching to incorporate Web 3 services on their platforms. IoT, or Internet of Things, will bring forth new types of smart devices, and concentrations will shift from using internet-connected devices on smartphones and computers. So trustless and permissionless. Web 3 will provide a trustless network in the sense that it will not require the presence of a third party before participants can interact. Also, a permissionless network that does not require participants to receive authorization from a government body. And that's awesome. This feature makes Web 3 ideal for networks where decentralization services are built. An example of this is decentralized finance, or DeFi. So what is the difference between Web 2 and Web 3? Well, the difference between Web 1, Web 2, and Web 3 signifies how far we've come as humans. The Web 2, Web 3 difference table, we're going to highlight that. We're going to give you a picture of that. We'll highlight the difference between both versions. Check it out. So which one is better, Web 2.0 versus Web 3.0? We cannot underestimate the benefits of these two versions of the internet. We have seen and experienced an easier way of doing things using Web 2.0, and we see Web 3.0 platforms and how we can use that one. Web 2 versus Web 3 is a discussion where critics rate one version over the other, but Web 2 versus Web 3 argument will highlight how both versions will improve how we use the internet. To shed more light on Web 2 versus Web 3 difference and Web 3.0 versus Web 2.0 argument, we will consider the relevance of both versions. So let's consider Web 2.0. Web 2.0 brought about dynamic content and interactivity to the internet due to technologies like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. These technologies have led to the creation of different applications that we all use today. Social media, blogging, and podcasting are interactive based, and they have made communication and information dissemination easy for everyone. People can engage each other through comments and messages easily. Web 2 brought about the popularity of applications like Facebook, Google, Twitter, etc. The list goes on and on and on. So let's consider Web 3.0. Web 3 is an advanced version of Web 2, and it uses new technologies like AI to know content semantics on the web. Artificial intelligence makes it easier for users to find, merge, and share information easily, as machines can understand and interpret data like humans. Decentralization and permissionless systems, which are the core feature of Web 3, will give users more control over their data. So we can deduce that the Web 2, Web versus Web 3 argument proves that the technologically advancements that are in Web 3 does not mean that the internet will have a different look, but it will complement the flaws that we now see in Web 2. Therefore, we should see an increase in decentralized versions of Web 2 applications that we now use without too many visual differences. So how do we know that Web 3 is going to be the future, or the wave of the future, or if it's going to be here to stay? Well, here's some interesting information. Binance, the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, is launching its own virtual capital fund for Web 3. They are investing, and they have raised $500 million in funds to invest in Web 3 as crypto slides into the bear market. That's not all. There are top crypto Web 3 investors. Some companies like Peer VC have invested $2.5 million. NFX have invested $2 million. Gary Tan of Initialized Capital, $2.5 million. And this list goes on and on. We can look at signalnfx.com and look at the investor list at the top crypto Web3 seed investors that will show us why people are investing in this. They're doing it because they believe in it. They're doing it because that's going to be the wave of the future. That's something we need to consider as we look into Web3. I think it's going to be amazing. It's going to be absolutely incredible when we finally get to see a lot of these companies switching over to Web3. Now, like we talked about, Web 2 is still going to be there. It's just going to be an enhanced version of that. That's my opinion. I think it's going to be amazing. So with all that being said, customized browsing experience, human-like search assistance, and decentralization are some of the benefits the new version of the internet will provide. Web 3 is still in its infancy stage, and it will make the internet more integrated into our daily lives. We can also see that the Web 2, Web 3 difference comes to who controls and who owns data and content. Aside from the benefits, it will provide users with career opportunities, and they will abound as many people still switch careers to enjoy lucrative jobs and opportunities. There are so many job opportunities like blockchain development and Web 3.0, cloud engineering, data science, Salesforce, and cybersecurity. One of the most and best reliable methods of getting knowledge about Web 3, as advertised by experienced people in the field, is attending an IT boot camp. Clarusway provides the perfect boot camp that teaches everything about learning Web 3, and also other services to make every student succeed in their learning and post-learning journey. Check out the link below, clarusway.com. They are amazing. I can't do any of this without them. They are wonderful. They will answer all your questions. If you're looking for a 6-figure income, Clarusway can help you with that with a 6 to 9 month degree. You will be in the field. They will even place you in the position you are looking for to help you get that job. And I'm here to help you with all the soft skills you need. So I'm one of the people that help, and I'm glad to be there to help you at clarusway.com. Great company, not only to work for, but also to learn all these technological IT information. They will help you. Give them a call or check them out online. They'll answer. They've got a chat box so you can talk to them, and they'll answer all your questions. clarusway.com. Reinvent yourself.